This is extremely slick. It's 100% clout chasing in my book. Because again, if he'd have put your Twitter name, if he'd have put at whatever your Twitter name was, which I guarantee you it's not your real name, would that be considered disrespectful? FYF Sports, man, it's Lamont, man. We back. Back with got some breaking news, man. Breaking news. I guess we can call this breaking news. I mean, you guys seen the title. It's been all over social media over the last few hours. There's a story that's being reported. WnBA, Washington Mystics, Aerial Powers in a Twitter beef with Andre Iguodala of the Miami Heat. Now, as soon as I saw this, I'm thinking, is it some type of, love triangle? Is it something? What's going on between these two? Just the usual typical drama when you're dealing with a male and female, potentially on the internet. When I looked into this story, I mean, it's stories like it to just be having me scratch my head. I'm just trying to figure out, where are we at in the world today, man? Where are we at in the world today? Where, again, once I start talking on this, if you haven't heard about what's going on, this story should be alarming on a number of fronts, and eventually something has to be done about this. Like this. The culture that we're in, the toxicity of social media, something has to be done about it, because it's going to cause serious harm to somebody who's not deserving of it, all because people get caught up in their own little feelings. So we're gonna go ahead and break down this story. So basically what happened was Andre Iguodala, he made a tweet. I guess he was watching a WnBA game. I've been having trouble finding him on TV, so I don't even know how he was watching it. I don't even know what channel to watch the WnBA games on, but he was watching a WnBA game. And, he was so impressed. He was so impressed by what he saw by WnBA player. We're going to make sure we say it correctly. Aerial Powers. He was so impressed by her performance on the court that he tweeted, and as you can see right here, he tweeted, "Hey, number 23 from the Mystics is nice." That's basketball lingo. That's what we do. That's how we talk. Basketball players, you see something just that quick, you tweet it out. You see something nice. This is what Twitter's for. You see something happening, it's nice. You want to put it out there to the world, especially if you got a following. We see Andre Iguodala has a check mark by his name. Boom, get it out immediately. I mean, a lot of times when we tweet, we just want to get information out. We're not thinking about it. We just putting out there what we think, how we feel about what's going on in that exact moment. A lot of times, and this is why some people get in trouble, is because you put it out and then you don't 100% think it through. But at the end of the day, it's your organic thought. And your organic and original thought is what matters most, because it's not doctored, it's not scripted. It's your true and honest opinion about what's going on at that moment. Now, some people take it too far. Some people script things. Some people do things for clout. So we have that with social media. But as you can see here, I, as a hooper, when somebody says that, I don't necessarily take it in a negative manner. So we have Aerial Powers of the Mystics. She felt that what Andre Iguodala said was disrespectful for whatever reason. So she said, put some respect on my name or keep this tweet to yourself. So she's basically referring to the fact that he referred to her by her jersey number, which is number 23. And I guess they went into a Twitter beef going back and forth about this particular issue. And a lot of WnBA players, a lot of women really started jumping on Andre Iguodala for making this particular tweet right here, which was actually a compliment to Aerial Powers of the Washington Mystics. If you guys didn't know who she was, now you know who she is now. Aerial Powers of the WnBA Washington Mystics. But she decided to fire back at Andre Iguodala for making this comment. Now, when I saw her reaction to this particular issue, the first thought that came to my mind was the greatest player who ever played basketball of all time is known as number 23. And he's a man. And he doesn't take offense to the fact that he's known as number 23. When you're a basketball player and you become great, this is how your number in your game becomes synonymous. Kobe number 7. Or Kobe number 8, I'm sorry. 24. Kobe 24. Like, we know these numbers. Shaq 32. Like Pippen 33. Like, your number correlates to who you are on the court when you're an athlete, especially a basketball player. You know, with Gilbert Arenas, the number means something to him. Usually people pick these numbers because it means something to him. Gilbert Arenas, Agent 0. Number 0 on his back. He felt people overlooked him. Your number, when you have the opportunity to pick your number and you're a basketball player, especially when you're playing on the college and professional level, that number is synonymous with who you are. It's representative of who you are on that court. So when we look at Steve Nash, we remember that Steve Nash wore number 13, right? Because your number is synonymous with who you are, right? When we look at players like D Wade, we know their numbers, right? We know who your numbers are synonymous with who you are. We look at LeBron James, we know what his jersey numbers are. You know, that's how it works with the great players. You know, numbers, this is why they retire jersey numbers. Because in sports, jersey numbers matter. Jersey numbers are synonymous with who you are. It's the player who makes the number great. So when we're talking in a sports context, Aerial Powers, and someone refers to you by your jersey number, that's a compliment. That's a compliment. And then you have to take into context of when people tweet things, especially when they're in the moment. Again, if he's seeing something on the basketball court and he's elated by what he's seeing, if he's geeked up by seeing you hoop, he sees you do some things on the court that has him going crazy, he's gonna shoot it out to the Twitter world just that quick. Whether he knows your full name or not, the first thing he sees, which is why players have numbers on their jerseys, he sees your jersey number. And your jersey number is synonymous with who you are. There's only one number 23 on the Washington Mystics, right? So when he tweets this out, you know what people are gonna do who are interested? Hold on, who's 23 on the Washington Mystics? That's what people are gonna do. Hold on, let me go to YouTube. Let me check out some of her clips, right? Then the next thing I'm gonna do is hold on. We know the WnBA is playing in the bubble. Let's see what channel they playing on, because this is a guy with a check mark by his name on Twitter, and he's giving you a compliment. So again, I really hope that this video gets to you some way, somehow, because again, I think you, Aerial Powers, I think you owe Andre Iguodala an apology for jumping to a conclusion that's so outlandish. And again, everybody knows Andre Iguodala. We know he's charitable. He has affiliations with the Players Associations. He's helped out a number of athletes who are retired and currently playing with their financial situations, making the right investments. He does a lot of things off the court for social justices. We know the type of player that he is. He has an extremely good reputation around the league. He's been known for this throughout his entire career. Extremely professional. Never went out of his way to say anything that really disrespects anyone. But yet, he makes a tweet to compliment you in the same way that millions of other athletes around the world are complimented, correlating their jersey number to who they are in their sport. And you take it as a sign of disrespect. And then Now you have an entire community of women coming at this man because he wanted to compliment you. So what's essentially going to happen, what's probably going to happen out of this is that he's probably never going to tweet about another WNBA player again, which in a league like the WNBA that's struggling for ratings, why would you want to segregate an entire potential fan base because of something so extremely petty? And again, we gotta stop being so sensitive. We live in this cancel culture. So what you're essentially doing is now you know what type of culture we live in. Now you're using this cancel culture not just against another person, but against another black man who had no intentions of trying to harm you. He actually said something positive that could ultimately only benefit you. But now it's become negative, and now you're using the cancel culture against him. All these other forces in the world, in the U.S. that are against you, and you decide to tweet about one of the only people that's trying to prop you up. Again, if he doesn't make this tweet, nobody even knows that the Washington Mystics played a WNBA basketball game today. Nobody knows. And again, I like the WNBA. I go to Phoenix Mercury games. I support that team. I like the sport of basketball. Any type of basketball that I can watch, I will watch. But as it stands right now, again, this is called giving publicity to your league. And then he's also helping expose your greatness because people respect his words. So, like I said, I don't really want to talk on this too much. What I would have wished I would have wished that Andre Iguodala just would not have even responded to you. This is not something that he should have went back and forth with you on, because again, this is extremely irrelevant. And again, it's upsetting when you see people always trying to use this cancel culture against people who absolutely did not do anything wrong to offend you whatsoever. Again, with you being an athlete, Aerial Powers, this is unacceptable. And this is, with you being an athlete, this is 100% unacceptable. And I say that because as an athlete, especially a basketball player, being referred to by your number is something that's common from when you're a youth athlete all the way to when you're a professional athlete. Athletes have been referred to by their numbers for the last 300 or however many years there's been basketball. And now you want to take it upon yourself to say that being referred to by your jersey number is something offensive all of a sudden. This isn't about women. This isn't about putting respect on your name or anything of that nature, because when you play basketball, your jersey number is essentially your name. When you become great at what you do, you're tied to your jersey number for the rest of your life. This is why we remember the greats' numbers along with their name. All right. There's little kids running around today that if you ask them about the number 23, they're going to say Michael Jordan, because the number is synonymous with the person because of the sport. Now, again, we're not talking about anything that he's doing off the court. Now, if we're off the court and you're at dinner somewhere and you're not having a dinner, you don't even have a jersey on, you're not playing the sport, and a fan walks up to you and says, "Hey, number 23, I would understand that. You would have more of a case right there. But this man was talking about you in the midst of you playing a basketball game. It's starting to become a joke, man. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about this, because man, it's just starting to get out of hand, man. And especially with, again, this is, for not just the black community, but just for the basketball community in general. This should be embarrassing on a number of fronts. Again, because as athletes, you try to cancel one of the most reputable players in the NBA. Do you understand? Do you know how many NBA players now are going to not tweet about WNBA players now? Do you know the types of conversations that are going to be had? Do you know how respected Andre Iguodala is? And you try to use cancel culture on this man as if he actually did something wrong. Yes, you are number 23. And if you don't want your number correlated with who you are as an athlete, then why don't you go to the WNBA Players Association and tell them that we shouldn't have jersey numbers? The referees should know us by name. The referees should know everybody by name and face. They need to put respect on our names. They don't need to refer to us by number when they're going to report our foul calls. See, we can take this a whole number of ways. We could take this a whole number of ways that a lot of people don't really want to go down that road, because what you said was out of line. What you did was out of line. And again, this cancel culture is going to come at Andre Iguodala as if he needs to apologize. At the end of the day, you need to really sit back and reflect on what you said and what you did and what could result of this. And you need to step up, and you need to be the one that apologizes for something this retarded. Because again, we're dealing with this can't right, y'all. See, we gotta be able to again, we gotta be able to censor ourselves, you know. If this is something that, you know, and to be honest, I feel like the only way you get mad about something like this is if somebody props you up and boost you up to go out there and even respond to this man in this type of way. Because there's no way, with you being an athlete, this was your organic thought. This was the first thing that came to your mind. If Andre Iguodala, the only thing you could really be mad at, and this is the sad part about it. The only thing that she could be mad about is that he called her by her jersey number, but he didn't add her on Twitter. See, if he puts @ and he calls you by your Twitter name, if he calls you by your Twitter name and not your real name, are you gonna hit him back and be like, put some respect on my name if he @ you and you get all that clout and you probably gain followers off of this? See, because people probably @ you. You know what I mean? How many people are adding you right now on Twitter, calling you by your Twitter name, whatever your Twitter name is? And I'm not even gonna mention it on my channel, right? But is it disrespectful if he @ you? And calls you by your Twitter name? Is that disrespectful because he didn't call you by your name? See, we can take this a whole number of ways. See, so this could be one or two things. You either clout chasing and you mad because he didn't @ you and use your Twitter name so that everybody would know exactly who you were, or you just trying to use the cancel culture to get some clout. Either way, it's a form of clout chasing. Because again, as an athlete, this should not have been your first thought. As an athlete, if I'm hooping, whether I'm high school, college, or whatever, if I'm hooping and Andre Iguodala says number 13 from whatever team I played on is balling tonight, I'm not gonna come at that man and be like, oh, respect my name. No, it's not about that. See, but you see what you're doing is you're getting it twisted. Again, y'all for the WNBA, this is a very sensitive time, because with the WNBA as it stands right now, y'all are on that breaking line. All right, y'all can either fail or y'all can only find a way to go up. All right, and when you do stuff like this, when you try to cancel NBA players who have done nothing but support the WNBA. If you look back, we see Damian Lillard and a lot of WNBA players wearing WNBA hoodies. We see Kyrie Irving donate $1.5 million in salary to WNBA players. We see that, all right. So you know the support that the NBA is giving you. Then you have Andre Iguodala tweet about you in the middle of you having a game, which probably resulted in people actually tuning into that game, whatever channel it's on. But yet you find the negative out of it. So how many people are going to tune in to come see you now? See, you got the clout you wanted, but you got it from the women's community. All right. So all these women that are saying put respect in your name, make sure are they the ones tuning in to really watch you play basketball? Like I said, it's starting to become sad. After, you know, it's a sensitive time for the WNBA. You guys got to really start thinking about who you attack and why you're attacking them. This is probably the wrong battle for you to fight, especially when you're dealing with somebody who's well respected across the NBA, and not just well respected, but potentially has a little pull in the NBA. All right. Because if Andre Iguodala puts it in a few people's ears that we're not messing with y'all no more, we're not messing with the WNBA no more, I guarantee you that we'll have a large impact on the WNBA. Again, man, it's just senseless stuff, man. I don't get the culture that we live in. I don't get why people do stuff like this. I don't get why people try to attack people in this particular manner, knowing what type of culture we live in. Again, we live in a culture where people are they're dying to find ways to attack another black man, especially on social media. They're dying to find ways to try to take a black man down, right? And now you just, as a black woman, now you're giving them ammo over essentially nothing, over essentially a compliment. All right, now you got people digging up old social media posts that he's probably already explained time and time again over. Now you're bringing up all this old stuff. People are trying to hash up dirt on the man. People are trying to make it seem like he's a villain of the NBA now. All right. Now every time he goes to a press conference, instead of them asking him questions about social injustices and what he's doing with this social climate, now they're going to be asking about aerial powers and number 23. Sad, man. It's sad. It's a sad climate that we live in, man. And y'all wonder, and y'all really wonder why the black community can't get nothing done. See, y'all really wonder why the black community can't get nothing done. And it's the pettiness like this that gets taken too far, not by outside forces, but our own people. This is 100% petty. And again, I'm gonna state it right now. Aerial powers, you need to apologize. This was not a women's right issue. This was not a disrespect issue. This was strictly a basketball statement talking about another basketball player in the same fashion that everybody does. And again, if Michael Jordan can be called number 23 and be referred to, number 23 is synonymous with Michael Jordan. Again, if somebody refers to you as number 23, that should be a compliment. Because I guarantee you're not wearing the number 23 by accident. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you there's a reason why you're wearing number 23, because you know 23 is synonymous with greatness. Michael Jordan. The number 23 would not be great if it wasn't for the man Michael Jordan. All right, but that's what happens when you're an athlete. Your number is synonymous with you. You guys need to take that fact home. When you're an athlete, your number is you. All right? And it really looks extremely. This is a slick little move you pulled. This is extremely slick. It's 100% clout chasing in my book. Because again, if he'd have put your Twitter name, if he'd have put @ whatever your Twitter name was, which I guarantee you it's not your real name, would that be considered disrespectful? Because your Twitter name, that your Twitter handle is not your real name. But if he would have added you and people could have clicked that and maybe followed you, you would have been fine with that. I guarantee you would have been fine with that. This is why what you said is a complete joke. You like I said, you had to find a reason to say what I'm saying without saying it, because you didn't want to look like a clout chaser. Because if you go on there and say, "Oh, you should have used my @ name, you should have added me," or then you would have had people on your neck. But so now we have to attack him. Now we have to attack him, and not just attack him. Now you got to sick the whole community of women on him, as if he really disrespected you. This is a married man right here with kids, one of the vets of the league, one of the most respectable players in the NBA. All right, you essentially turned a compliment into something negative. Now we talking about this again. Now your name, now aerial powers. Now your name is not synonymous with 23. Now your name is synonymous with being petty. All right. And again, and don't just say I'm saying that. It's a lot of athletes out there that, again, won't say it in public, primarily because of this cancel culture. But it's a lot of people that won't come out in public and say this. I'm telling you right now your name amongst athletes especially is synonymous with being petty, because this was 100% petty. All right, now your name is going to be synonymous with clout chasing. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like I said, it's starting to become a joke. All right, this is a disgrace to the WnBA right now, because again, if you are an athlete, you should know your number is you. All right, y'all, FYF Sports, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man. I don't like making videos like this because, again, I love the game of basketball. I love the game of basketball. I understand the ins and outs of it. I understand the lingo that comes with it. And again, when people do stuff like this, that's an obvious violation of the game of basketball. This is a clear code violation in the game of basketball right here. Code violation ASAP. Because even if it was an issue, there's a way you could have reached out to this man privately and got this resolved quick. And maybe he would have put your @ up there like you really wanted. Man, come on, man. Stop with the games, man. Stop with the game. So the little few followers that you gain because you attacked this man, that's probably all you're gonna gain. Sad. That's sad right there. Another sad story. Again, I hate that we have to talk about this because I would much rather be talking about some of the great players out of the WNBA. Much rather be talking about my Phoenix Mercury that I really respect instead of talking about this garbage right here. A garbage story, man. All right. Again, like I said, if were Iguodala, I would have demanded an apology because just like you came out and you tried to hide the fact that you were clout chasing under some fake moral ethic code that he didn't say your name. Again, that's fake. This is fake. She's faking it right here. Put some respect on my name or keep this tweet to yourself. All right, if you don't want to see the tweet, then block him or something. All right, do that. All right, because like I said, I guarantee you if he'd have put @ whatever your handle was, you would have been perfectly fine with that. And nobody walks around calling you by your Twitter handle. Only you do. FYF Sports, man. It's a joke, man. Again, it's sad, man. Like I say, normally we light-spirited here. We try to keep it funny here. But when I saw this story and I saw that a lot of people was really biting their tongue on this, and a lot of people didn't really want to say what they thought. There's a way, as a basketball player, there's a way to really explain what's going on here. This has nothing to do with women's rights. This has nothing to do with the WNBA. This has to do with one person trying to clout chase. All right, your attempt to clout chase failed. All right. You were mad that somebody didn't use your Twitter handle when they mentioned you in the tweet, and now you try to act as if it's some type of women's right issue. All right. Joke. So all you women's right activists, this was a failed attempt at clout chasing. So you guys should be calling this person out on it right down here below, Area Powers. All right. Because again, if he would have used her Twitter handle, she'd have been perfectly fine with that. And the Twitter handle ain't her real name. So this ain't about her name. This is about her getting a few more Twitter followers. That's all it is, y'all. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just telling the truth. Now, Aerial Powers, if you feel that I'm not being accurate about that statement, then how about you come to FYF Sports, man? If you got Zoom, I know you guys got Zoom in the bubble, then you can come on to FYF Sports right now and you can contest me on that particular argument. I want you to contest me on the fact that your number is not synonymous with your name. We'll see if you do that. Let's see if you actually talk about it truthfully. Talk about it honestly, as opposed to trying to bash another black man. FYF Sports, man. We out.